One afternoon, I had a meeting scheduled in a remote town about 200 kilometers away from where I live. The town was isolated, old, and quiet, with an almost haunting charm. The meeting went well, but as I finished and prepared to head back, something about the place felt wrong. A sense of solitude hung heavily in the air. I left around 6 p.m. The weather had been gloomy all day, and as the sun set, the quietness grew deeper, almost suffocating. I could feel the darkness creeping in. About 15 minutes into the drive, something went wrong. The car started overheating. The radiator hose had sprung a leak. I pulled over to the nearest pump station I could find, hoping to refill the radiator with water. And that's when I saw it. A small, unassuming pump station tucked beside a row of 5 or 6 old shop lots, hidden deep in the jungle. No cars, no signs of life, just an eerie quietness. There was a woman there. She appeared to be in her 30s, but there was something strange about her. She seemed out of place in this desolate spot. As I approached, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone, even though it was just the two of us. Since my tank was already full, I asked if I could use the tap water to refill my radiator. She gave me a soft smile, one that didn't quite reach her eyes, and agreed without hesitation. We exchanged a few words, but something about the place, the silence, felt off. I couldn't quite place it. No other cars, no other people, just her. It was as if the world had paused in this moment, waiting for something I couldn't understand. The car was ready to go, but with nightfall fast approaching, I knew I had to hurry. As I drove down the winding road, the light drizzle started to pick up again, making it difficult to see clearly. I kept my eyes on the road, and then I saw it. A small roadside stall, almost hidden in the mist, selling durians and other fruits. Something about it piqued my curiosity. I pulled over, deciding to ask about the fruits. The man running the stall was a poor-looking kampung man. He greeted me and assured me the durians were cheap, though they showed signs of damage, holes from insects, bites from squirrels. He said if the fruit wasn't good, I wouldn't have to pay, and he'd replace it. I opened a few. Most of them were spoiled, but some sections still seemed okay. They were ripe and delicious. I felt guilty for wasting so much of the fruit, but at the same time I couldn't resist the urge to buy a few. I bought the remaining good durians and 2 jackfruits. It was getting dark and I just wanted to get home. But then, something strange happened. I got back into the car and drove away, eager to leave that place behind. But the rain was falling harder now, turning the road into a blur of darkness. The headlights barely pierced through the pitch-black road. The world outside seemed to vanish into the rain, the dark jungle closing in on both sides. I was alone on the road, or so I thought. Just as I was beginning to feel that strange sense of calm, I saw it. Headlights speeding toward me from behind. The car overtook me suddenly, its headlights blinding for a moment. It was gone in a flash, racing ahead down the winding path. I hesitated for a moment, but something inside me told me to follow it. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe something darker was at play. The rain kept falling, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being drawn into something far beyond just a simple drive home. 2 hours later, I finally arrived home, exhausted, relieved. But there was one thing I couldn't shake, the feeling that something wasn't right. After returning from the trip that night as I ate the fruit, a strange unease settled over me. Something far more unusual had happened than I was ready to admit. The encounter with the durian seller, the odd stall, the series of inexplicable events. They all felt like pieces of a puzzle pointing to something else. A nagging thought lingered in my mind. Should I return to that place? That night I dreamt of an elderly woman, strangely resembling the one from the durian stall. She looked at me and whispered, "You will come back." The image of her was still vivid in my mind when I woke. Was it just a dream, or was it somehow connected to the eerie experience from days before? Was this a warning, or something more?